Have you ever Googled your own name? Prepare for a shock because your personal info, including addresses and phone numbers, is all out there. It's all harvested by data brokers and sold legally. Aura is a personal digital security service that scans the internet for your sensitive information and provides a full suite of privacy-enhancing tools. For a limited time, Aura is offering listeners a 14-day free trial at aura.com/safety. That's AURA.com/safety to learn more and activate the 14-day trial period.
As we get into fall and winter, I have a little Jen Science Corner PSA for you. You need to wear your sunscreen every day, no matter the weather or the temperature. And you know our sponsor Tizo makes some of our favorite sunscreens. They're 100% mineral sunscreens because it's right there in the name. Tizo stands for titanium dioxide and zinc oxide. Their mineral sunscreens are by far the best choice for your skin, your body, and the environment.
We've been raving about Tizo's all-mineral sunscreens for so long, but I have to point out they also have an incredible skincare line that focuses on the reversal of photo damage. There are products like the Advanced Vitamin C and E Serum and a great starter kit called the Photoceutical Skin Revitalizing Regimen. If you want a skincare regimen that's all there for you, nothing to think about or figure out, it's 5 full-size products with everything you need from cleanser to sunscreen.
Just do not sleep on that cleanser in that regimen, actually. It's foaming, but it's pH-bound, so it's like gentle and doesn't dry out your skin, which you know is what we're all about this time of year here at Fat Mascara. If you want to check out Tizo Skincare and their award-winning best-selling mineral sunscreen, that's the Tizo 3 Tinted SPF 40 you always hear us talking about, we've got a discount code for you.
Go to TizoSkin.com and use the code FATMASCARA15 at checkout for 15% off your entire order. That's TIZO Skin.com and use the code FATMASCARA15 for 15% off your order.
Look outside. I don't know where you live, but it's been raining nonstop where we are. Just also sometimes there's always something these days, isn't it? You just don't want to leave the house. You don't want to go to the gym. Who wants to go to the gym? Nobody. You know what you want to do? Turn on your little computer, streaming TV, and go to Allo Moves. Allo Moves is basically Jess and my gym at this point. They have all these amazing classes. You never have to leave home. There's some as short as like 10 minutes, or you could do like an hour-long Pilates and yoga routine and feel really good about yourself. Allo Moves is a streaming on-demand wellness platform that features yoga practices, fitness routines, meditation sessions, and so much more from one of our favorite brands, Allo Yoga.
They've got something for everyone, from beginners to advanced. Yoga to bar, Pilates, cardio, and HIIT classes. There's more than just fitness to Allo Moves. You have to check out their gua sha, dry brushing, face yoga, nutrition classes, and so much more. And the best part is you need little to no equipment.
That's definitely the best part. I mean, you don't have to leave the house. You don't need equipment. It's great. Find the health and wellness routine that works for you with Allo Moves. Go to allomoves.com and use the code MASCARA20 in all caps for 30 days free plus 20% off an annual membership. That's allomoves.com in all caps, code MASCARA20 to get a free 30-day trial plus 20% off an annual membership.
Energy pose. Jen and I are both doing a reach for the sky.
Since debunked Amy Cuddy's psychology study on energy pose. I don't care.
Wait, it was debunked?
Slightly, yes.
No.
Some of her research was. But I will tell you, I think the power pose really works. If nothing else, just opening that. You know me, I don't give a crap about chakras like I probably do. But the heart chakra, there's something about
considering you laughed at our crystal lady. Keep going.
Yeah, I did. Pull your shoulders back, open your heart, stretch your sternum. Hello, everybody. Are you doing that with us? I'm Jen. She's Jess. Welcome to Fat Mascara, our beauty podcast.
Welcome.
We're entering this podcast with an open heart and a power pose and energy.
So quick Amy Cuddy moment, okay? One of the most amazing things, I do feel like I worked at Cosmo during the best era. I mean, I guess if you worked there with Helen Gurley Brown, that's probably the best era. But I've mentioned this a few times in the pod. I worked there when Joanna Coles had started 2 months before me, okay?
Right.
Joanna Coles is like a force, okay? And this was like the peak before the fall of magazines because we had...
As we talked about Girl Boss era last week, yes, it coincides.
Yeah. Okay.
This was peak Girl Boss before it all...
Yeah, Joanna Coles was and is like a girl boss, okay?
Absolutely.
But she's a woman, okay? This is the kind of stuff that was going down every single week at Cosmo, okay? We had guest speakers every week. We had cocktail. There was a person her name was Deandra. If you're listening, you're not in agreement or whatever, recognition if you worked at Cosmo. Her job was to do like lots of cool projects, but she always brought in like an alcohol sponsor to do happy hours once a week at Cosmo. And it was like bonding and learning about Lucy Bopsit. But one of the speakers was Amy Cuddy. So Joanna would bring in all these like thinkers to like come in and blow our minds.
Where did you work? Like Google? Like just have world-renowned psychologist Amy Cuddy pop over for a cocktail and to give you some tips.
Yes, it was always bumping. Esther Perel came in just to talk to us. And as nobody knew who she was, the person who brought her in was like, guys, please come in. Please just come in. Like, it's so embarrassing.
Oh my
like,
God, nobody's pay for those tickets now.
No, it was crazy. There were like 8 people like who were like, oh, fine, I'll come. Okay. So Amy Cuddy came in.
So is the person that's like, is there snacks? Fine.
Yeah, exactly.
You just like bribe people into your work events with food.
Oh my God.
friend works in HR. She's like, all I got to do is put out donuts.
But Amy Cuddy came in and Joanna was like very well connected. Okay, so she like probably just called Amy and said, come in. So Amy Cuddy came in and she talked to us about the power pose. She's like, you're going to feel really silly. I was like a kindergarten teacher. Like, you're going to feel really silly. You're going to like reach up to the sky and you're going to hold, Google Amy Cuddy if you know what we're talking about. And like open your mouth and like kind of like roar like a lion. Next time you feel really embarrassed or nervous before a meeting. I was doing that stuff in the big stall before every meeting, because Cosmo was not the easiest.
Are you talking
place
about the bathroom stall?
Yeah.
I love how you just said that as if I went in the big stall.
The big stall. Before every meeting, before like a job interview, like
you'd
roaring.
Sneak into a stall and do the pose and like open your mouth and like stretch it all out. And,
I'm strong. Yeah.
And then you'd like stomp back in and own the meeting.
Own is a flexible up to interpretation. But it is like, it does kind of it changes, it shifts your energy. But we did, like Joanna did it. Like we all did it. We all did the power pose for a while.
I don't care if there's not research behind it. Anecdotally, Jess and I will tell you, do the pose. If you need the energy and you need the power and you want the strength, 100%.
I'm wearing a power lipstick for you, Jen.
Oh, this is a power shade. Go on.
Again, one woman's power shade is another woman's chapstick.
Soft look for an AM meeting. Wait, this is a power color for you. All right, I guess it's okay. Go on. What are you wearing?
You don't like it?
I love it, but to me, this is like a neutral, like everyday shade. She's got on like a soft wine.
It's like I thought it was like a deep color for me.
You're calling this deep? Yeah. Okay. Maybe. Well, you are much fairer than I am, so I wouldn't even call that a wine. I don't know. I would call it like a Gamay, a Beaujolais.
Oh, okay.
It's not a Cab. It's not a Merlot. What are some other light reds? It's a Lambrusco, maybe?
Oh my God.
It's Lambrusco of wine lipstick.
Guys, it's Sisley Sheer Cocoa.
Wait. Disagree, Sisley. Poor naming because it's got a cool tone to it. It's not a brown. It's a berryish.
No, it is brown. It's just not jumping up the
You're
screen.
also wearing a pink top, which I think is making it pull a little bit rosier for me.
And then I've also outlined it with, you want to talk about power.
Tell me. Lip liner is a power makeup product.
Yeah.
There's nothing more powerful than lip liner.
Yeah. Rinna Beauty and...
You say, this is the outline of my mouth, and this is where it is. No matter where it is. This is where I say it is. So you, viewer, believes this is where the outline of my mouth is.
I don't know why I just laughed like a dog who like needed water. Rinna Beauty and Notice Me.
Oh, that is a very cool looking lip liner. It looks like a stilo, like a pen.
It's a stilo.
Yeah, like a little twist up. That's a gorgeous combo.
Thank you.
It's bringing you into your fall era, which is peak Jen and Jess time. Am I right?
This is finally, we've been waiting.
Listener, this is our time. Every year we do this, but this is our time. I know everybody thinks October is their time. I see you with your pumpkin spice whatnot. No, that's not what it's about. It's about not sweating. It's about a berry lip. It's about cool breezes.
Yep, a sweater with maybe. You could do a sweater with a little sneaker, maybe on a warm day.
Sweater weather.
Clog.
That's Jess's part of it. I'm not doing a clog. Over in my world, we do a Doc Marten.
A Doc Marten. I wore a sandal the other day with a sweater. I like that look.
I don't know where you live, but this time is so fleeting, especially with the weather these days around the world. Like you get 1 week of good weather a year, a season. So take it when you can get it, right?
Oh, Jen, did you watch the I meant to ask you, did you watch the Supermodels doc yet?
Of course I did. I just finished it.
All right.
I have a lot of thoughts.
Wait, first of all, we've had one half of the Supermodels on Fat Mascara, which I just
Both
was
Cindy
beating
Crawford
pride.
and Linda Evangelista have been on the show, yes.
If you haven't listened, please go back.
Please do.
Can you give me like one or two favorite moments or like thought-provoking moments?
My thought was, I felt like they were trying to cover too many topics, whereas I would have just been happy to like have those women talk at me. But I felt like they were like, okay, now we're going to cover racism and now we're going to cover sexual exploitation. So they did that very lightly. And it was like, those deserve their own documentaries, though I know that was part of that time. So I'm glad they touched on it. I see why they did. But it was very, how do you say it? Celebratory?
Any way you like it, Jen.
I know, but which one is it?
It's celebratory, but
celebratory. I get it wrong every time.
I like your enunciation because I feel like it carries its own meaning.
And it was so funny as it was wrapping up. The peak moment for me was my career in fashion started sort of at the end of the supermodel era.
Totally.
And I remember that I came into my first job knowing the models from the 90s, and that's what I knew as a model. But we were doing bookings. And in my head, I was like, it's so funny. I don't know why this is, but I feel like we're now in the Russian and Ukrainian era. And I like in my small, tiny 21-year-old head who didn't understand fashion at that time, who was still saying Givenchy, like who didn't know anything. Just like Cindy explained it when she was like a young one and you get like thrown into this world that you don't know anything about. That was my job in New York City in 2000. And I remember thinking that, and they said it in the documentary. They were like, oh yeah, the end of the supermodel era was sort of like, sure, Kate Moss and that happened, but then the wall came down and all the Eastern European girls came in and you could book 40 of them. I was like, that was the era I started working and I actually noticed that trend as well. So it just was interesting to see how it lined up with my career because I'm like, younger than them, obviously, but that was a highlight for me. What about you? Thoughts, opinions?
Something that really like struck me was Linda saying, all the other ones were like, oh, I was scouted. I was, I fell into this and
worked for it.
And Linda being like, I dreamed of this. I really wanted to be here. And just her navigating that with that sort of like,
yes. And how hard she worked, how it was like, okay, I've done 3 years. I'm not going to be a big time. Do I give up?
Just going through the world with that lens and seeing everyone reach the same level without having wanted that and having like studied so hard and then her getting a bag of shit at the end.
She's had a rough go.
Yeah.
But is it that they didn't want the same success? I think they did. They just didn't say it as openly as Linda did. She's a very vulnerable person.
But they weren't dreaming of it since they were a little kid. It's like they had the fairy godmother, but they weren't even looking for it. And she was like...
Yeah, but then the minute they started working, you can't tell me they weren't dreaming for more success in that industry. They just didn't know modeling was a career until it sort of fell in their lap.
Right. But I think that still puts it... I think you still look at things that still probably stings in a different way. And then to lose it and have all that stuff happen.
To me, that makes her career even more impressive because she had to work for it and she wasn't the tallest and skinniest and she had to go on. I like how they're describing everyone. They're like, Naomi was like the legs and Cindy was this. And they were like, Linda's the chameleon. I was like, what a skill. But if she didn't get like the natural one like the other three, you know what I mean?
I think Linda's definitely, I think, she is a model's model.
Yeah. She like works the art of it. Yeah.
I was talking about
Don't
this
worry,
with my
guys.
friend.
This is not the Supermodels recap.
No. But there's so much to talk about.
Stuff. Yes.
There's so much to talk about. We will get to the news in a second. I know it's like a longer intro than normal, but there's like just so much to talk about. I love the models, but I really want a part 2. And I was chatting about this with a friend earlier today, actually. As soon as we got to... It was just a short little chapter. We got to Kate and like the arrival of the models from like the late 90s, early 2000s. That to me is just as juicy. And I don't think people talk about that enough. Like I want to hear about Shalom. I want to hear about Amber. I want to hear about Kate. I want to hear about Karen Elson.
Karen, all the way up to till Giselle came in. Right.
Yeah. I'm less interested about like
No, me neither. But you could, there's like an 8-year, 10-year cycle to the popularity of models. And now we're in the Gigi Bella Kaya era of it all. The Nepo baby era. Should I do that documentary? Nepo models.
The Nepo models?
Yes!
Yeah, I mean, maybe that will be interesting to people
in
10 years.
Yeah.
But
we're in it right now. We have to wait and see and have a little bit of a view back on it so we can process it all, as they seem to have done with this documentary, which wasn't like groundbreaking documentary work, but it's a fun watch.
Well, they were producers in it, so it wasn't going to get really.
No, but yeah, I just felt like nostalgic.
So much footage, though. So much good footage.
Oh, seeing Kevin Aquan backstage, giving his hand to the camera backstage when they get annoyed. And I was like, of course, Kevin was working. He was working. He didn't have time for you to be sticking a camera in there. And Francoise is in it. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
It's great.
Oh, my God. What a time.
So that's been your Supermodels recap.
Let us know if you liked it, if you didn't like it.
What they were missing.
Yeah. Oh, my God, what they were missing.
The DMs are open at Fat Mascara. Follow us on Instagram and DM us because people are always surprised, but like I DM back everybody. Yes, let's chat. Y'all, my friends, just like best. All right, we have an episode to do. You're going to take us through some news. We're going to raise some wands. Shall we get into it?
Let's do it. Jen and I are still laughing and talking offline about the Supermodels documentary.
I had a lot more thoughts.
One thing I want to fact check, but maybe somebody will fact check it for me. I remember in high school, my friend told me that the models at the Costume Institute are modeled off of Christy Turlington's face. I am ashamed that I don't know this as either complete bullshit or, of course, everybody knows this. Jen, can you fact check this live for me?
Absolutely. Why don't you go ahead and start the news and I'll pop in with a little fact check once we have the details.
I am deeply ashamed that this is not something that I didn't yay or nay.
Now,
right
do we
away.
think Vogue is a reliable source? I think Vogue's a pretty reliable source. They named the model Christy.
Okay.
And yes, indeed. She was modeled after Christy Turlington, quote, was chosen from among the famous models of the day for her timeless face.
As opposed to those not timeless faces.
Yeah.
Jen, do I have a not timeless face?
You are any era that you want to be, Jessica Malin.
Don't you? Isn't it so stupid when people are like a timeless face? It's like what my face couldn't have existed.
Because it's like it feels tacky to say classically beautiful, as if we don't pretend to know.
We don't say that anymore.
No, because there's beauty in everything. I get that, but like, okay, symmetrical. I don't know how else you would say. She's not even symmetrical. Timeless face.
Well, the only face that's not timeless anymore is like a face that's been made to look like...
Filled up with so much filler that they look like they're literally from 2016 circa their Upper East Side plastic surgeon. Yeah.
Exactly. All right. Well, this is a great segue. Everybody's talking about... Okay, we record this a few days before this drops, but everybody might still be talking about Pamela Anderson. She's somebody who definitely looked like of an era, and now... she has totally stripped down to her original timeless beauty. Have you seen her Vogue video? I think it's a French Vogue.
Okay. But I also have seen every woman I know over the age of 40 reposting pictures of her from the Row fashion show and from
Victoria Beckham. I have thoughts. What are your thoughts? She's gone totally
we're going to
makeup
give her
free.
a prize for taking her makeup off? Like, to me, it's like, this is ridiculous that the fact that we're calling this out means that we haven't changed. We're not in the post-makeup world. To me, it would be really cool if it just happened and everybody was like, let's celebrate her. What are we celebrating? She washed her face. I'm sorry. Does that mean?
Well, what's funny is like Alicia Keys, I want to know what Alicia Keys is sitting. I want to see her sitting by her phone, scrolling, and then looking at this whole moment. She did this years ago.
Yeah, she also just didn't make a huge deal out of it. And I don't know that Pamela Anderson is the one doing the press push. Like everybody reposts
I don't think
my
she
photo.
did. I don't think she did a press push.
Everybody to me that was reposting it are the people that need to believe it. You know what I mean? Proselytizing. I saw some of my friends that were reposting it and I was thinking to myself, those are the people that are fighting aging really hard. Like they wanted to see, yes. I saw
a lot of really young people posting it. When I say
that's
really
what
young
I'm saying.
people, I
also
mean
people that are scared to age. It gave them like a powered feeling. And I want people to feel like that all the time. I don't want someone's unwashed face to do that for you. I want you to look in the mirror and do that for yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Jen, that's not sarcastic.
Okay.
No, it's not sarcastic. No.
All right, I'll get off my high horse now.
No, I think she looks amazing. I think in her video, she said, that her mom said to her at some point in your life, you're not going to want to wear makeup on your skin. She said she's not trying to be the prettiest girl in the room. She wants to not have her makeup compete with the clothes on a very just pragmatic level. I thought that was a good choice to do less makeup. Okay, just like on a very, this is my opinion. Yeah, fresh face, very of the moment, very French. But I think it's absolutely
TBD
ludicrous.
if it's French, we'll have to read Marissa Meltzer's book.
Oh, yeah, Marissa Meltzer's.
Please see last week's Friday episode for French Girl Beauty, question mark.
Yes. But I think it's truly like a sad time in this world. And listen, I'm saying sad time in this world. I'm the one who put this in my little news bundle as the top story. It's a sad time in this world where this is the thing. She's done the most amazing work in the animal rights department. And she's like, this is her big news story. What's up?
I thought you would be celebrating it more. You're of the same mind of me then, which is like,
well, I think it's both. Listen, I think it's two-sided. I think it's really cool that she's doing this. I think it's a positive thing. No, I'm not like, oh, shame, Pamela Anderson, put that makeup back on.
But like,
no, I think it's, how can you not cover it? If she did this, how could we not cover it? I think I'm saying
we as the media.
Yeah. How could we, Fat Mascara?
Well, if we were in a post-looksism world, that wouldn't be news.
Like it is what it is what it is. Yeah, like so
exactly.
I can't, like, I'm not actually, I'm not going to go as far as to say like, hey, my journalist friends, hey, my media friends, and hey, like everyone on Instagram, if you posted it, you suck. No, like that's not what,
right.
I'm not saying that, but I'm saying it is such a kind of, it's so indicative that if a woman decides not to wear makeup and just goes out without it, it's a news story. But I think it's also like, let's just be real. She's known for looking so overdone that it's just the nature of the news story. Pamela Anderson, it's like if she decided to wear a paper bag and dye her hair brown, it's anti-glam.
Here's a thought. To me, I think there might have been a little bit of virtue signaling too with the people that were posting it. Like reposting of the image again and again is what got to me, because it never crossed my mind to post this image, because what am I celebrating? A privileged woman in very, very expensive clothes who washed her face. I think the people that posted it wanted to be seen as, look, I'm down with like true beauty. You know what I mean? There was like a little virtue signaling to it. Now I'm just getting catty, but yeah.
I don't know.
Why am I hating on women? I should let them be happy that we're in a world where she felt comfortable going out without makeup.
I think it's cool. Like, I mean, like, I don't hate it. I'm saying I think it's cool that she did that. But I think it shows you how far we have to go.
Yes. She was not, I'm making more of a comment on how much news it made, which says something about us as society, not her as a woman who felt good to do this, which I celebrate, obviously.
But even like that, and I'll move on to the next item soon, because I know it's like, why is she still talking about this? Like 7 minutes.
I am too. I keep bringing it up. Every time you stop talking, I'm like, but again.
And this is the show. Thanks, guys. It's like so much of an overcorrection sometimes is like necessary to like bring us back. Like she's bringing us back. It's like a slingshot. Pamela Anderson is bringing us all the way over here so that I think maybe girls who are 25 or women who are 45 or 60, whatever, might think twice. Well, you know what? I'm skipping getting ready today. I'm going to work like this, or I'm going to the party like this.
That she had some cosmetic work done that she's walked back on. Like maybe I don't need to go there with the cosmetic work.
Yeah, it's like sometimes stuff looks so silly, or it feels like it's just a stunt, or it's like, oh, why are we making this big fuss? But sometimes I think when organizations do like big stunts or like something feels so stupid, I think sometimes it has to be like that. So
to capture our attention in this day and age.
Yeah. That's how I feel.
Dump water on our head to give to charity. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my feeling. So anyway, you know who's another glamorous woman who's been in the news lately? Another documentary that I have to watch? Victoria Beckham. She's got a big documentary on Netflix that I've seen like only some clips of. It's all about her and David Beckham.
Well, I started watching it and she's not even, it's about him more so. Maybe it comes to be about her, but so far it's all football.
But like, you know, they're like a dynamic duo.
Yes.
She just launched her first fragrance line, 3 fragrances, okay? Bam, bam, bam. You know, it's funny. I met with somebody from Victoria Beckham recently, gave her a big hug, and I said, what are you wearing? I had no idea that a fragrance was in the works. And she said, you'll just have to wait. It smelled so chic. And now I finally got to see what it was. So the three fragrances, they're all based on, goes right with the special, her time with David. Very romantic, very sexy.
They're no dummies. They love a cross-promoting opportunity.
They love a cross. Do you remember when Victoria had fragrances? We were like baby beauty editors.
Yes. So I'm curious.
You remember this?
Yeah. Very different aesthetic.
They've done a lot of different types of beauty ventures.
Oh, she's a genius business person. Okay, so you said chic. I'm so curious what chic smells like to you. What's the story with these fragrances?
Well, okay, one is called Suite 302, and it's inspired by her and David Beckham's favorite suite at the Ritz in Paris, as you do. One is Portofino 97, and that's where before they were...
It's me and Eric's story, totally. Keep going. Ours is like campsite number 3 at Rhinebeck State Park.
Jeff and mine right now, it would be called, if we had a fragrance right now, it would be called like Hoboken Waterfront.
That time our sink exploded, circa 2023. Can you picture real life couples, like the fragrances of our coupledom? There's the Ritz, the Portofino. That time the sewage backed up in our bathtub. These are the moments that bring a married couple together. This is what we should celebrate. We're making a line. We're going to do this.
Diaper explosion 2020.
Diaper blowout 2021.
I'm going to cry.
The sense of... Victoria, we love you. You've been on the show. We love you. We love you. But she would think that was funny. She would agree with us.
No, she's got a very good sense of humor. I'm sure she would come up with about 5 more. But they would not all. Wait, do you think we can get Jerome Epinette to do them? Because that's who did. Do you think we could submit a request?
Oh God, Jerome. I feel like he has a sense of humor. I've DM'd with him. I think that he would do it for us.
Oh my God. I've had to keep it together. Okay, but there's a third one.
So we have Ritz-Carlton, we have Portofino, and the third?
I'm hoping, I'm not going to say this right, but San Isidro Drive, and that was when they moved. This was actually really nice. So this is kind of domestic. When they moved to LA, and that was when she felt she could really get away and like be herself, because they were hounded in London, and in LA they could be themselves. But what was interesting, and I thought this was cool, like, she's different. If you listen to our episode with Victoria, she's super, like, she's a real beauty girl. She's not somebody who was like, I want a line, and then like bing, bang, boom, like had a line. She really knows her stuff and is obsessed, and she was studying all these fragrances, and when she looked at the fragrances that she loved, the commonality was that Jerome Epinette did all of them.
I mean, yeah, you went right to the top. I love this.
Very cool. Anyway, I'm excited for her. I think that, this is probably, her line's awesome. Her cosmetics are great. The fragrances are great. I'm sure that this is the beginning of a big moment for her. Now, speaking of Jerome Epinette, he is one of the perfumers behind a new brand called Future Society's fragrance line. Now, this is very cool. Jen, I feel like you are going to be into this. So there's this beauty biotech firm, it's all about biotech, called Archaea, and they're launching this fragrance brand later this month. The brand is, it's so interesting. They're using extinct flowers as the foundation of this brand. And they're using like these essences to help really create these fragrances. So can I tell you some of the names of the fragrances?
Please do.
Haunted Rose, Invisible Woods, Floating Forest. So the chief executive of Archaea, her name is Jasmina Aganovich, she said that fragrance has always been rooted in powerful storytelling and sensory experiences. We are excited to show how biology can create new stories and product experiences. Science is about more than clinical studies. It also represents new creative tools. I feel like this whole line just feels really different than anything I've heard before. It's going to be rolling out on October 16th in Nordstrom, and it's also available on its website now, so you can check it out. All right, speaking of fragrance, got a nice little fragrance bundle here, okay? Jen, one of the things that we lost in the decline of magazines was those smelly strips. Did you ever use those smelly strips when you were younger?
Of course. I rubbed them on, I'd pull them out, then I'd rub it on my wrist, hoping that I was getting the perfume because I couldn't buy the perfume.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's really how I made a lot of my decisions. Would you remember a smelly strip that you loved? Or
Exclamation.
Exclamation.
Yes. And then let my mom smell Pleasures in one of my magazines, and she really liked it. And then that Hanukkah, I got her Pleasures, and she wore that for years, was her fragrance. So I like used it as like a little tester to like see if she would like it. Because it's hard to buy perfume for somebody else.
Sometimes I would rip them out. And then I remember like when they started doing those little paquettes when you could like peel it off and you'd even get
Because I remember Dior Poison, I think it was, had a gel paquette in one of the issues when I worked at Mary Claire. And I remember like, oh, be careful, don't open that paquette. Because Poison has a sillage that like stays. And there's always something in that fragrance. I love Dior fragrances, but that scent has never struck me. That's not my kind of vibe. But I missed the strips.
I remember CK1 when that started popping out. And it was like, oh, I remember seeing when like the ad ran, but then also like if there was, so sometimes I get excited when the ad came out, but then when there was a strip. So it was like, I was very like very concerned about like, oh, well, is it one with the strip or one that was just an ad? Because like I would get excited by it.
You want both. You want the visual with the full sensorial. I want visual and olfactive at the same time.
I mean, it was a real experience. Well, I mean, CK1, we're talking about like the 90s or like, you know, but like in
Lolita Lempica.
I was just about to say Lolita Lempica. Yes, that was a dope one. There were so many great ones.
Because they were the visuals for Lolita Lempica were so like fairy tale immersive and like just a wonderland and you wanted to get into it.
It also made the magazines thicker too. But anyway, I bring this up because now 2012 was a long time ago, but not really. We're talking about 10 years ago. And Jen and I are referencing, obviously, way back when. But these were foundational parts of both magazine advertising, but also you as a consumer, like if you're a consumer listening to this or if you're in the industry. Yeah, it was part of the fragrance industry and understanding what you want to buy. In 2012, over a quarter of people, Mintel, which is a data agency, over a quarter of people Mintel surveyed learned about fragrances from magazines through specifically those scent strips.
Okay. The other 75 were getting sprayed at the mall.
Sprayed at the mall.
Maybe not, but I don't have facts on that.
Sephora, Macy's, whatever, okay? Now the fragrance industry is like scratching their heads because they're like, what are we going to do? Because we need to figure out how people are going to learn about scent. In another survey by Mintel, they said 30% of people surveyed will not buy a new scent without trying it first. To be honest, I would imagine it would be more.
Yeah, that's lower than I imagined.
Right?
I feel like they're now talking about a problem that might not be a problem since most people are buying scents without trying them. But continue.
Yes, exactly. I think that's like pretty cool, right?
If the pandemic told us anything, it was that people were willing to experiment with things that they saw without smelling because they were trying all sorts of new fragrances that they hadn't a chance to smell.
So I'm just curious, Jen, like have you ever bought a fragrance? I realize you're in the industry, so you're getting a lot of fragrances.
Without smelling it first? Absolutely. Yeah. Oh my God, all the time.
So tell me like what would compel you to buy a scent without trying it?
I've never bought a full-size bottle. Okay. I will say that. I will always, though, if someone recommends something to me, and then I'll go to that site, and I love all the brands now have their sampler pack of like 7, you know, if it's a small brand, you get to try all of them. And then I'm like, I love changing it up so much. I basically got 7 little bottles of perfume.
Got it.
Have I ever upsized to a full size with that? I think I might have. With Lake and Sky, I bought one of their full size. Why? What about you?
You know who makes great little sampler packs? They didn't mention this, but I'm thinking like Lucky Scent for $5. You could buy a fragrance that's like $300 or $400. You could buy
and these are, guys, by the way, the niche perfume that you will never even find a sample in a store, no matter how hard you look. Yeah. They're so good about giving you samples on that site, and they're worth paying for.
I mean, at Moda, I'm putting on my Moda operandi hat right now, which is, if you're listening to this podcast and you don't know.
That's her day job.
Yeah, what else I do? But yeah, I'm the director of beauty at Moda, which we sell really only niche fragrance. We are really having a lot of success right now with discovery sets, but because a lot of our brands are niche and discovery sets are sometimes only something that they're usually found with bigger brands that have the budget to create discovery sets. Sometimes there's a gap there, but we have.
Wait, when I worked at Sephora, I remember having to be in the meetings to convince the big beauty brands to do a Sephora sampler set, where it's like a one from an Estee Lauder, one from Dior, and they were from the different brands, and getting them all to play nice and put a little sample on the set. We were like, no, these are going to be Christmas gangbusters. Like, people loved them.
Exactly. That's something that's like a priority for me right now. Like, these discovery sets are really...
Make it work, because I want the Moda discovery set.
The Moda discovery set would be like sick.
Okay, back to the news.
Anyway, I was so interested in this because scent is like such a huge, huge thing online right now, and 30% of people won't buy it, but like, the 70% of people
Where
will.
are they going to learn about it if they don't? They're probably going to smell it on somebody else or in a store. Yeah.
They did mention like, the Ritz-Carlton. I mean, this is a very specific example, but the Ritz-Carlton is having a lot of success because they have a diptyque in shop that sell, like, it's like people are finding, the point is like people are finding out about fragrances in places. I worked at Industrious. Jen, you know this because it was like, it's literally the same address where we used to record the podcast.
Jess loves it because there's good snacks downstairs.
Oh, great snacks. It's a co-working space in Soho, and it smells like Santal. So like you literally can find out about fragrances like in co-working spaces now.
Yeah, funny callback because we were just talking about a couple episodes ago how hotels really aren't a place for fragrance discovery anymore, and that being a missed opportunity. And perhaps instead it's a co-working space, or instead it's a place you never would have thought you'd see a perfume, like a hotel lobby or whatever it is now.
So interesting.
I just love that everybody's on board with fragrance now. The more people that become immersed in this world, the happier I am.
It's so cool. And then last but not least, talk about discovery. A brand that I name checked like a year or so ago. It was like right as I was leaving Harper's Bazaar. So it was like 2 years ago or so. Flight 70. They are created by 2 Gen X women who are like, we want cool makeup for us. Who somebody forgot about us, and like they are just awesome
FLYTE. I remember Flight 70.
Yeah,
yes.
They're Elena Frankel and Carolyn Barber. I'm really happy that their line is still kicking, but not only is it still kicking, they just opened up a store. I was like, what? They opened up a store in Boston called Flight 70, The Space. They are doing amazing. They created an indie beauty boutique that has brands like Rose Hair Care, the amazing Otis Batterby brushes, which are gorgeous. They're like vegan hair brushes, Bohème Candles, Plume Science, Be Kind
So
Nail
it's
Care.
not just their brand Flight 70. It's a little just beauty boutique. Is the premise of the beauty boutique age-based marketing?
No, I'll tell you what it's
just
about.
Happens to be their Gen X.
It's like I'm just sharing like what their vibe was about.
Okay.
But they want to shine a spotlight on other cool indie beauty brands, and all the only criteria they have is be independently owned, vegan, cruelty-free, making sustainable strides, which I think is really fair enough because we know how hard the like clean
strides
thing. Yeah, and using mindful formulas. And they said they want to lend a hand where we can because we can't ignore the hardships and rising costs many small brands are facing today. We are champions of indie beauty brands for over 25 years. It's in our blood.
Where's this boutique?
It's in, hello, bearing the lead, sorry. It's in Boston. So
I think you said that, and I was just so excited I just started yapping.
So yeah, we'll put a link to them. It is very challenging to be an indie beauty brand owner, and I love to see like cool women supporting other brands.
Me too. That was a good one. Thanks, Jess.
Thank you. Honey love. Honey love. Honey love. Just saying honey love makes me feel more relaxed. Like I'm in one of these beautiful honey love bras. It's like body ASMR.
It is like body ASMR. So
it's
comfortable.
Soft. It's like a second skin. It's next level comfortable.
It sure is. You guys know, you've heard us talk about Honey Love and all of their shapewear and the bra that Jess thinks I haven't taken off for the last 6 months, but I have. And I've hand washed it and it washes beautifully. All of their fabrics are so seamless. They have like mesh detailing, so they look a little bit sexy, even though they're super comfortable. None of that back bulge, no uniboob. You're getting all of that support and that huggy body ASMR feeling Jess was talking about, but still have a nice silhouette and look good. And we have like a big discount for you guys.
It's 20% off at honeylove.com/mascara. Use our exclusive link to get 20% off at, you've got it, honeylove.com/mascara. After you purchase, they're going to ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you, Jen and Jess. It's time to ditch that underwire for good, thanks to honeylove.com.
Look outside. I don't know where you live, but it's been raining nonstop where we are. Just also sometimes there's always something these days, isn't it? You just don't want to leave the house. You don't want to go to the gym. Who wants to go to the gym? Nobody. You know what you want to do? Turn on your little computer, streaming TV, and go to Allo Moves. Allo Moves is basically Jess and my gym at this point. They have all these amazing classes. You never have to leave home. There's some as short as like 10 minutes, or you could do like an hour-long Pilates and yoga routine and feel really good about yourself. Allo Moves is a streaming on-demand wellness platform that features yoga practices, fitness routines, meditation sessions, and so much more from one of our favorite brands, Allo Yoga.
They've got something for everyone, from beginners to advanced. Yoga to bar, Pilates, cardio, and HIIT classes. There's more than just fitness to Allo Moves. You have to check out their gua sha, dry brushing, face yoga, nutrition classes, and so much more. And the best part is you need little to no equipment.
That's definitely the best part. I mean, you don't have to leave the house. You don't need equipment. It's great. Find the health and wellness routine that works for you with Allo Moves. Go to allomoves.com and use the code MASCARA20 in all caps for 30 days free plus 20% off an annual membership. That's allomoves.com in all caps, code MASCARA20 to get a free 30-day trial plus 20% off an annual membership. Okay, you've heard us talk about hemps here at Fat Mascara. We love their body lotions. Well, guess what? All your favorite scents of hemps now come in scrubs and body washes. They're all plant-based, vegan, and cruelty-free. And yes, there's a fragrance-free option for those of you who want that. But I am loving the scrub right now. I am, first of all, not gloopy doopy. You know how we hate a gloopy scrub.
Hate it.
Hemp's Original Herbal Sugar Scrub. The texture on this is so good. And the scent, take me away.
I want to be taken away by Hemp's. They have an incredible wash with 3-in-1 formulas. You know I'm a girl on the go. You can exfoliate with glycolic acid. You're going to clean while it's going to moisturize you at the same time. And it hydrates you with that 100% natural hemp seed oil. Also has shea butter. Jen and I have been talking about shea butter basically since we were born. And aloe vera. And can I tell you about the scents?
Please do.
Sweet pineapple and honey melon. Triple moisture, which is a really nice scent. Original herbal. Pomegranate herbal. I mean, these are like popsicle flavors. I love it.
It's a tropical delight. Elevate your shower routine with Hemp's new body washes and scrubs. They're available at Ulta Beauty and Hempz.com. That's Hempz, Hempz, with a Z. Make sure to check it out today.
All right, it's time to raise a wand. I'm going to give it over to Kylie from Hawaii.
Hi, Jess and Jen. This is Kylie from Hawaii calling with this week's homework, talking about budget must-haves. I'm not a big makeup girl. I'm very much a big skincare girl. So when I walk into a Sephora or an Ulta, I'm not really looking to drop big bucks. So I was looking for a cream blush, and the girl was like, Halsey has a really phenomenal line called About Face. She showed me these tubes of the Ultramatte. They are highly, highly, highly concentrated to pigment. And talk about bang for a buck. I have put on 2 dabs onto my cheeks. They're meant, I think, more for eyeshadow pigment, but she's like, you can literally put them anywhere on your face. They're phenomenal. And really and truly, it would cost me $16. I don't think I will ever run out of this. Most people are like, oh my God, I'll never hit pan on this blush. But I swear to God, you'll never finish this tube. It is way likelier that in 4 years' time, this tube is going to dry up on you before you actually run out of the product. So my Razor Wand for a budget, stays in place, liquidy cream blush would be the About Face pigment tube. Thanks so much, guys. Bye.
Truly, there are so many lines. I forgot about all these lines. About Face has some.
I remember when it came out.
Yes, but pigment payoff. She's right. That is technically a bargain because every product in that line has so much pigment that you can use it judiciously and get a really good bang for your buck. Excellent, Kylie, doing the homework. Yes, thank you. I had a couple more bargains, but I know Jess texted me. She has thoughts. She has homework.
I have thoughts. Okay.
Okay. Here we go.
Right. Okay. This is Rant incoming. All right. I need some brands that have a soul. I need some brands that feel real.
Can I just give backstory? I'm not going to name names, but
Please
a
don't.
popular product that Jess said to me, and this word really rang true with me, was soulless.
Yeah.
Like, it just felt like plug and play. Like, you got your component, you got your color that everybody likes. Manufacturer price, $28 and scene.
Who's supposed to say the price?
Well, I don't know. Tell us if that happens to be the price of the product you were talking about, that was an accident.
No, it just like, listen, everyone has to make a buck, but I just feel like it is very competitive right now. And I feel like there's a lot of computer says push out Gen Z skincare line or push out
with bright
millennial
yellow, niacinamide serum, and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, or like make it, like it just feels...
Give me lipstick in shades of rose-hued wood to maroon and chocolate in 9 shades that suit everybody. Go.
Yes, and put it on
a video. I sent you a text and it was the marketing imagery from 5 different brands. I kid you not, 5 brands. And I said, what do you notice about this? And she was like, oh, which brand is that? Because you thought it was one brand. Because it was from 5 different brands and it all looked the same.
But I listen, I don't have a brand. So like, I don't know. It's like, somebody told me, oh, your podcast sucks, but like, you don't have a podcast. Like, it's like, well, it's actually quite hard to, like, so it's not a comment on like building a brand. It's just, I'm saying, I want to see something that's exciting because I got into beauty because I thought these are very super distinct, dreaming, creative entities. So I want to see some really cool, surprising things. They could be anything.
You want the moon cats of the world.
Yeah, or it could be, I don't know, something for like grandmas. I don't care.
No, but it has like a point of view. Mm-hmm. Small businesses, maybe a little indie vibe to it.
Yeah.
Tell us a story. Oh, the product that you're like, it sits in a special place on your vanity. Yeah. It's not like your workhorse concealer. Mm-hmm. It's your, you know what it is? That thing that you turned me on to that I'm so mad you turned me on to because I'm like obsessed.
Oh, yeah. That's expensive.
Kindred Black. Everything on their site. I want 8 of them. I know I bought this one, but I kind of want, the Kindred Black. What is this one I have? The minty one? I don't even know. Anyway, yes. Our point being, special. The homework is, what is that like thing that we haven't heard of? I love when you guys tell us about stuff we haven't heard of.
Yeah, knock me out.
Knock us out. Call us, 646-481-8182. The number's right there in the show notes. Or email us. You can send a voice memo or a little voice note to info@fatmascara.com. You can also email us anytime with thoughts for being a little bit annoying and you want to say, Jen, bring down the rant level. I'm here. I'm all ears. Like, I am all about customer feedback with my listeners.
You can't scale that kind of product, Jess, so...
I've done that too, because there's a lot of industry people that listen to our episode who give us the truth about, I know you said this, well, this is the reason. I remember I learned about the compact breakpoint test from one of our listeners because I said the powder broke too easily.
Oh,
and
they were
like, they probably failed the drop test, which is 6 feet from blah, blah, blah.
I talked to somebody about that the other day. That's so funny.
Yeah, these are the things that come up in our biz. Okay, so send us your special products that really mean something to you, that have a story. That's a good one. On that note, it's time for us to raise a wand. Oh, my raise a wand means something to me.
What does it mean?
I worked really hard on it. It's not a beauty product. Guys, I made another podcast.
Can we just use this today? Can we just use this as a raise a wand? Because this is big. I'm going to forfeit my raise a wand and just...
That's not necessary.
No, it's huge. This is huge news. Huge news. This is a big deal.
Yeah, raise a wand to, I am a producer of this podcast, but also now another podcast called Solicited Advice with Allison Roman. She's a cookbook author. Look her up.
Everybody knows who Allison Roman is. Come on.
I don't know about that. I do think there might be some overlap between our audiences because when I posted about it, a lot of Fat Mascara listeners also appreciate her and her point of view and her content. She's a recipe maker first and foremost, but also one of the most opinionated, funny, entertaining people I know. So
she is a personality. She is a New York / now global personality. And she also is she's got beauty influencer with her hands, right? She's known for her nail polish.
What's so funny is, so this podcast is about, people call in asking for advice, like a live callers, but they also leave messages on her hotline. Where did I get that idea for her? And you'd be surprised how many ask her about makeup and fashion stuff. So I'm like going to try and convince her to do an episode where we tackle some of that because people love her beauty and fashion look. But first and foremost, they come to her for food advice, family advice, relationship advice.
What was the most challenging thing about creating the podcast?
Being everyone's psychologist, because I screen every single caller to make sure they have a good question. And I've met so many cool, wonderful people. But, I have to explain to them the podcast, hear their questions, see if they'd be right for the show. And then I me, I start asking them questions. I look down 27 minutes later, I've been on the phone with Joe from Texas for 30 minutes, giving him my own damn advice before I've even booked him for the podcast.
Wait, what if their stuff is not right for the show?
Well, that happens all the time. And then I email them later and I say, we'll keep you in mind for the future because you got to get the right mix of callers, or maybe it's too deep.
But do you say best of luck? I hope that everything works out with the baby.
Yeah, I've had to say, this is too broad. This is to unpack with your therapist, that kind of, we'd say it jokingly. Everybody who follows her has a sense of what her personality is like. And I have a similar, I think, personality. So it's all with kindness. But that's been the most surprising thing is, wow, Jen, if you're going to keep doing this, you need to stop asking questions when you screen callers.
You need a boundary.
Yeah, but it doesn't make me feel less energized. I love every phone call I have, but I think just for time's sake, so that I can keep my sanity, I need to be quicker about talking to people. But you know me, I get on the phone with a stranger and I want their life story.
Oh my God, this is the perfect job for you.
And then she gets to have that conversation with them live on air, which is so fun to listen to.
This is so good.
Yeah, anyway, it's called Solicited Advice with Allison Roman. Please listen.
Oh my God, I love it.
It's like you have more questions. Jess is good.
No, I'm picturing something. I'm picturing kind of like a Howard Robin, or like a studio situation.
I am the Robin to her Howard, indeed.
It's so good.
And I am the bad guy sometimes. I have to be okay, guys, wrap up the phone call. Oh, Jen's going to get mad at me. Fun though. We have a good dynamic and I think it comes across in the show and all the amazing callers that she has, but also the guests that she has.
Can you give us a little surprise, a little teaser?
Well, yes, coming up with Tinks, who we've talked about on this show, her podcast.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hype it up. Hype.
Now I'm a fan. A lot of our podcast listeners also listen to Tinks's podcast, which is another overlap. And so I was like, I should listen to it. And I was like, this girl knows what she's talking about. I shouldn't say girl, this woman. Then I met her and I was like, she's fucking cool. Yeah, she's great. Okay. So that's a really good episode. I'm not there. That's what I'll leave you with. Leave them wanting more. But now I want to talk about beauty before we finish. I can't talk about myself.
I'm not talking about a Head and Shoulders hair wash.
Was that going to be your razor wand?
Yeah, it's to Jen.
Oh, yes. I thought it was going to be the Head and Shoulders. I was like, Eric uses Head and Shoulders.
No. It's an effective product. It actually does work very quickly. If you have a bout of dry scalp.
The Selsun Blue is fine, but Head and Shoulders.
I actually I don't need something to mask that if I have dandruff that day or that week. I don't need something that's airy-fairy. I need to know that it's working.
Yeah. But the Head and Shoulders doesn't dry out your shampoo, your hair. It's pretty moisturizing for a medicated shampoo.
No, it's good.
Look at that. Little bonus razor wand just thrown in there for you at the end.
All right.
Go get your beauty sleep.
Razor wand to Jen. Get your beauty sleep.
Subscribe to our podcast, but also maybe that one too.
Yeah.
Do me a fave. Can't all have fat mascara numbers right out of the bat, but I'm doing what I can to promote it.
I think it'll be okay. Somehow I think okay.
Yeah. We'll see you on Friday. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
We hope you enjoyed the show. It's your reviews and feedback that help us make the podcast even better. Head over to iTunes to rate and review us, or email your thoughts to info@fatmascara.com.
We also want to answer your beauty questions and hear what products you love. To share a Razor Wand product review or to ask a beauty question, email us at info@fatmascara.
If you send it as a voice memo file, we can even share your voice on the podcast. You can also do that by leaving us a voice message. Our phone number in the United States is 646-481-8182.
Thanks so much for listening.
Have you ever Googled your own name? Prepare for a shock because your personal info, including addresses and phone numbers, is all out there. It's all harvested by data brokers and sold legally. Aura is a personal digital security service that scans the internet for your sensitive information and provides a full suite of privacy-enhancing tools. For a limited time, Aura is offering listeners a 14-day free trial at aura.com/safety. That's AURA.com/safety to learn more and activate the 14-day trial period.